Welcome to another episode of Class Haven Farms. So what are we doing today? Well, today I thought I would show you guys how to sex your barred rock baby chicks. So as you guys know, we had 8 baby chicks that hatched from eggs with our broody hen Ethel. So today I thought I would go over the 3 things to look for when you're trying to tell if your baby chicks are boys or if they're girls. Alright, so as you guys know, we hatched some barred rock baby chicks from eggs. So I'm going to have my helper over here help my assistant come over and grab one of these chicks. So come on, assistant, go ahead and grab one of those things. Of course, they're all laid up underneath Mama right now. Actually, I'll pick you guys up and I'll show you. Got it? All right, so let's set this thing back up. So who do we have here? Let's see.
We have Sour.
So we have Sour. So the kids have already named them. So if you look here, you can see the top of the head has this frosting here. It's starting to go down to the back. So that is signs that this is probably going to be a rooster. Look here at the wings. You can see they're not all dark. And the other sign to look for is in the fronts of the legs. So the fronts of the legs, if it's a female, it will be dark here. This is a little bit lighter, plus the frosting here on the top. That looks like, and looking at the wings, how they're not all dark, this looks like this one here is going to grow up to be a rooster. Now my assistant's going to grab a girl chick. Let's see if you can find an assistant. We might have to pick Ethel up. She's sitting there you go. All right, so here's what we have here. If you look at the top, compared to the boy that we had, you just have a little tiny white spot. So for the female barred rocks, that's one of your signs there. Also, you look here at the wings, on the tips of the wings, these are dark. So you want to see dark on the wings. You can see you have some white back here, and that's fine, but you're looking at these front wings here, front part of like the tips. They're dark. Then the last thing you look for on the barred rocks are the feet. See how they have the darker shade here. Your boys are a lot whiter. They're not as dark. Now, I will tell you the one difference with these chicks compared to maybe one you would get from a hatchery. Your hatchery breed, these are going to be real dark. It's going to be really easy to tell these apart when you get them from a hatchery. All right, so the black and white ones there are our barred rocks. So our babies will grow up to look like those two black and white ones walking around in the back. Thought maybe I would share that with you guys, since some of you may be watching this and you don't know what a barred rock is. So I was looking over the video that I did of the sexing the baby chicks. I figured I'd add this to it. We had 11 eggs. I actually started with 12, but we had 11 because we lost one when we moved it from the coop here, if you remember part 1, into the brooder shed. We lost one egg because Crystal stood on it, so that put us down to 11. We had 8 that hatched, and then I had those 3 eggs, if you remember, and I think it was part 2. No, it was part 3, beginning of part 3. We had 3 eggs left. Sadly, 2 of those eggs had embryos in them, and they were dead. So it just kind of stinks. It's just the nature of the game, though. The one of the eggs was just a yolk, so it hadn't even started to develop. So I know my sound quality wasn't the best in that part 3 when I was talking about the 3 eggs that we had. I think what happened, these eggs hatched March 1st. So I came home March 1st, late on the night of March 1st, and 4 of the chicks had hatched. And if you go back and look at that, the beginning of part 3, 3 of those chicks are like wet. You can see where their feathers are wet. And 1 was semi-dry. So that one had probably hatched during the day, and the other 3 had hatched before I came home. So that left a couple more, 4 more for them to hatch. We had 4 more hatch, then we had those 3 eggs. What I think happened is that night, I think March 2nd, really, really cold that night. It was down like 26, 25. And since the other 4 had hatched, Ethel now had 8 baby chicks. So she was focusing on the baby chicks, and she left the eggs alone. So that's what happens, guys. If you're going to do this, just expect it. I mean, growing up on my grandparents' dairy farm, there was nothing worse than when you would lose a calf. And I remember one time helping my grandfather and my uncle, and we lost a calf, and man, that sucked. Like there's nothing good about it. I was young. I might have been 8 or 9, but you learn. It's just the way of life. I mean, we really don't want to take this stuff for granted. You know, and I know I'm guilty of this. I think sometimes we just get caught up in our own little bubble and what we got going on, and we just get mad at the world sometimes. And sometimes there's people that are looking at us wishing that they had our life. So just kind of put that into perspective. But I thought I would throw this clip in because I just went and did my video editing on sexing the baby chicks and realized I have completely forgot to talk about those 3 eggs. And I also forgot to show you what your barred rocks will look like. Thought I'd try to get you guys an up close look at the baby chicks. So looking at this, again, we had 8 chicks hatch. It looks like we're going to have 5 roosters and 3 hens. So the 3 hens are going to go to my in-laws. They were hoping to get 4. I think the most we're going to have is 3, just looking at them. Just to kind of give you guys an idea, these chicks are about just over a week old. Maybe a week and like 2 days on some of them. So usually at a week, those are the 3 things for barred rocks that you can look at to determine if you have boys or if you have girls. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. As you can see, these guys are getting big. It's not going to be long. We're going to be moving them out of here, out of the brooder box. They'll be going into the precision coop that I have outside. It's a little smaller. Ethel probably only has maybe another 8 to 10 days. And then she will be pulled from these guys. And really, I think she's starting to get to the point where she's tired of them anyway. But she's still taking care of them. She's still showing them stuff. For us around here, it's starting to get a little warmer. You can see I still had the heat lamp in here, but I have raised it up only because at nighttime it is still dropping down in the 40s, so I want to try to keep them warm. During the day, it's jumping up to, I think tomorrow we're supposed to hit 70 degrees, so I may even just turn this light off. I guess we'll just kind of see how it goes. So again, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'm not saying that I know everything. Definitely kind of learn as I go, but I've had a lot of interest from people on the baby chicks and their process, so I thought I would share this with you guys. So as always, thank you guys very much, and I'll see you on the next one.